The following podcast is taken from a live broadcast on Inspire FM.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to Sister Speak. You're here with me, Mariam.
Me, Lamisa.
Me, Sonia.
And also joined in the studio with us is Ali.
Hello, my name is Ali Baluch. How are you?
Thank you for joining us. So for those who don't know, Ali Baluch is an Afghan-American filmmaker based in Los Angeles, California. And he has previously done an internship at Nickelodeon Animation Studios and has a role of a producer for a prominent YouTube channel where he has gathered extensive experience in industry. He also is a founder of Impressionist Films, which he directs and produces commercial and promotion videos. And he recently worked as a writer's assistant for Max, formerly known as HBO Max, and currently serves as a producer at a mainstream American TV channel. Ali Baluch's unwavering dedication and exceptional talent has been indicative to his success today. We're so very, very happy to have you today, and we will be talking about media, hence why our guest.
Right.
Thank you for joining us today, and we're looking forward to talk about your career trajectory throughout the show. Before we start the show, though, Lamisa, can you tell us what our show is about?
Yeah, so our show is a platform for Muslim women to kind of speak their opinions on various topics, whether that be politics, culture, religion. We just want to let everyone know that our views are our own and we respect all other similar or opposing views.
Yes, just to re-emphasize that all opinions and views are our own and respect all other opposing views. If you do want to join the discussion, Sonia, where can they join us?
They can get in touch with us on Instagram, that is at Sister Speak. And also you can text or WhatsApp in on 07779 481822. And we also have a new Twitter account. I'm not sure what that is.
So who has a WhatsApp phone? Who has the WhatsApp? Who's checking it?
It's on the...
Okay. So if they message you can read it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So make sure you join the discussion since Ali's very excited for you to hear your thoughts.
I love it.
So today the reason why we want to talk about media representation as our guest is a film TV producer. We thought, how can this be relevant for the Muslim community, especially in terms of minorities?
Right.
But before that, we wanted to do our normal segment, which is called the Thought of the Week. So for those who don't know, Thought of the Week is a segment where we just share a personal anecdote, something we've been thinking about, or something insightful. I'm going to start off with Sonia.
No, I felt like coming. No.
Can we save this for the end?
No.
Gives us time to marinate on this thought of...
I'll give it to you at the end.
Oh my God, that's a great idea. I think we should change the whole thing.
Let's do it.
The fun of it is spontaneous.
They like to put us
Okay,
on
all
the
right.
spot.
Well, if she loves it, it's so spontaneous.
Okay.
Let's be spontaneous and
Mine
put you on
always
the
makes me
spot.
go first, so...
Yeah.
There's no discussion here. I'm
That's fine,
Sonia.
that's fine.
No, let's go.
Wow, thank you so much for that.
Of course, man, I got your back.
I love that.
You were thrown under the bus, you know.
They do that a lot.
Let's throw them under the bus.
My thought for this week is about confidence. I think it's really important to have confidence in whatever you're doing. It's really hard to do, but I think this year I learned the most that actually if you have a quiet confidence in what you're doing, it all does kind of work out in the end. I passed my exams today, by
Congratulations.
the way.
Mashallah.
Thank you.
That's big.
And I think throughout the year it was just this kind of, I know this is hard, but if I keep going, hopefully it will work out.
Wow.
And that kind of energy, I hate using the word energy, but that kind of energy kind of goes through whatever you're doing. And I feel like if you have confidence within yourself, it helps pull off whatever you're hoping to do.
Well done. First of all,
Thank you very much.
Well done,
Thank you,
seriously.
Your tireless work all has
Thank
been
you. Alhamdulillah.
come to fruition. Sonia?
Well, let me say, I like that you said quiet confidence because it's like you believe in yourself more than anything. Like the confidence isn't for anything or anyone else. It's just a quiet confidence in what you do. Ali, are you okay over there?
I'm...
For those who are listening, he's just moving headphones around.
There we go. I kept reaching over. Okay, I'm sorry.
Anyway, it's okay. It's welcome
We
to
have a
radio.
producer in the house.
But yeah, my thought of the week, well, it's kind of about going on holiday because I just came back,
Love
which
that,
is
love
the
that.
shades. I'm still on holiday mode.
Where were you?
Sorry?
Where'd you go?
I went to the UAE.
Oh, okay. Which?
Dubai, Abu Dhabi.
Oh, you did it
Sharjah.
all.
Yeah, I went around and it was so amazing and beautiful and obviously scorching hot. Like
First
literally,
time?
it was my first time.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So the weather was always 40 plus, and when you go on like the app, it will say like feels like 51 degrees Celsius, which is just mental. But yeah, it was just my thought of the week is just, you know, if you get the chance, go, because it was one of the best experiences ever. Like honestly, I'm still talking about it now, and I came back on Saturday, so that's saying something. Like,
What was your highlight?
being on the edge of a building, I think. I went on the
I saw that on your story.
It was so cool.
But I think we were talking about it before you were going about whether to go or not, right?
We did
and
talk about it.
I think, you know, the fact that you made the decision to go is a testament to everyone else. Like, if you have an opportunity to do something,
Yeah, I just
Go
thought,
for
when
it.
else am I going to get the chance to be at the edge of a really cool building and see all, like, you know, the Burj Khalifa and so on and so on. But also, the thing is, when I was up there, I remember I was starting to get scared, obviously. But I didn't have time to be scared. Like, the instructor was just like, keep walking, keep walking. I was like, oh, we're not going to acknowledge the fact that we're on the edge of a building. Fine, like, we'll just carry on. And then I just put my fears aside because I thought, what's that going to do now? Nothing.
Wow.
So I'm just going to enjoy it.
I'm here anyway. Let's go.
Exactly. Like, they were like, do some swings, lean back and so on. And I thought, yeah, there's no point of being scared because it's not going to change anything.
Fair
So
enough.
I just did it.
I think that's such a good thought of the week, actually, because you can't change the if you don't-
circumstance.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can't change the circumstance. If you don't have a control over it, you just have to navigate through it.
Exactly. And I did, and I had a really good time. So that's my thought of the week.
I think we're all going to be inspired to go now.
I hope so.
Sister Speak trip. Let's go.
A radio trip, yeah.
Let's do it. Ali, your turn.
Oh man, well I have a very more pessimistic or just a negative thought of
That
the
doesn't
week
surprise me.
because this was such a positive, and it's hard to follow that up
That's the
because
case.
you
I'm
were such
kidding.
a very optimistic, you know, live life on the edge, take the chances, don't let anxiety get the best of you. That was like your
Are you going to bring it all the way
Yes.
back down? Go for it.
That's the reality of life, to be honest.
Oh, yikes.
well. One of the things I've been working on is not using the word hate. So I will say I dislike shy people, and I feel like
That's wrong.
I feel like a lot of shy people are rude. Like they're so rude because when you meet with a shy or like hang out with a shy person or meet with a shy person, all the like burden in the conversation is on you now. You have to do all the hard work. They're just going to like expect you to like make up for their lack of involvement in the conversation in a group setting.
But do you have to
well,
do
then
it?
we're going to sit in silence.
But that's fine.
Maybe,
isn't it?
maybe
that's-
that's okay sometimes.
No, but then like why even hang out? You know, if we're just going to be quiet, you could have just
Some people
Why
enjoy
did you
silence.
to hang out with someone, you know, agree to hang out with someone who you know is quiet?
Well, sometimes you don't realize until you get there. And then you're like, oh, man.
But
It's
you
like-
are entitled to your thought, obviously. So, yeah, sorry, carry on. I think we all jumped in. Really quick.
No,
We're like,
that's
how
fine.
dare you? Yeah, go on.
And you know, it's one of those things where there's many situations I've been in where you'll meet for like a lunch or a dinner or like a meeting, and the person is just not giving you anything.
So would you say it's rather than the word shy, it's more like a lack of
Yeah, but then
participation?
they use a crutch of shyness.
But I don't like
I don't
that.
do that because I'm shy.
I wouldn't put the two together because for me, shy is when you actually feel. For me,
Right.
it's like when I'm in a situation, I feel a bit of anxiety, or I'm not ready to speak to everyone yet, so I'm shy. I'm afraid. I'm not ready.
Right.
Whereas I think there's a difference between you're there, you're present, you made the decision to be there, and then you're just not involved and you're just lacking that
So
participation.
I think there's like two types of shyness. There's one that's like that natural shyness where like you walk into a crowded room and it's like it just hits you,
Yeah,
and that's like the
that's
very
for me,
natural
shy.
feeling that everyone kind of gets. And then there's people who are just they're just a shy person overall. Like their whole identity and personality is a recluse hermit, you know, and like any kind of social interaction, they just like withdraw right into their shell, which is fine, you know, that, but like I was that person, but I had to make an effort and be like, okay, I want to make an effort to be a little bit more social, get out of my shell a little bit, just enough where I can carry a conversation with someone and have it flow. And it's only the thought of the week because it was just yesterday I was ranting about this to my friends. So I was like, you know what? That was my thought of the week where I just don't enjoy shy people's company and I find them rude. Hot take. Can we call this the hot take?
Very hot take. You find shy people rude?
Yeah, because it's like hey, now you have to have the conversation.
I think it depends on the context a lot.
And a lot of shy folks, they don't give in a conversation. Like you'll ask them a question, hey, how's your week been? It's been good.
Maybe they just don't like you.
Well, they should not have messaged me to like, hey, let's grab some.
Yeah,
I want to pick
true.
your brain. I hate the word pick your brain too.
Yeah.
Pick your brain.
Yeah. Hey, can we grab some coffee? Let me pick your
Pick
brain
your
over
brain.
this.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Is that like an American kind of term?
No one's used that with me, but you know.
I've heard it before.
I've heard it, but it's not something that's used.
I think
I don't think we use it here.
When he said folks, I was like, American.
Yeah.
Folks, we don't say folks.
Well, we try to be inclusive, you know.
That's okay, fair.
Yeah. No,
So-
actually, no.
but not inclusive
I
of
just
shy
made that up.
people.
I just say folks. I just say folks anyway.
It's alright, it's a cool word.
Yeah.
So fundamentally, you categorically hate.
Shy
No, he
people.
didn't use the word hate.
Oh, not
Said
hate.
dislike,
But-
really strongly dislike.
But I feel that.
You feel that?
I feel the hate.
You feel it?
Interesting. Interesting.
I'm kidding. This is all like a level of tongue in cheek, but the feeling is very strong towards shy
Do you
people.
actually feel that some people are rude? Like,
I do.
Do you
yeah.
think it's a conscious
No,
decision
I
for them?
don't think it's conscious. I don't think it's conscious.
You
know?
don't think they consciously try to be rude? It's just something
No,
that's
no, no.
inherent with them.
Yeah. And I feel like they're not putting in the effort to in that situation. Now, I'm not talking about their life. I'm that certain situation, a lunch meeting, whatever it is. They're not putting in the effort. Like, you got to match someone's energy, you know?
But what if they don't have the tools in place to be able to do that? Like, that's just not inherently within them. Then what would you say about that? What would be your view?
They need to learn it.
They would need to seek a psychiatrist or a therapist.
Wow.
So then, do you think that's a sense of self-awareness that they
Yeah,
require?
I think everyone at a certain point, especially in your like adulthood, you kind of realize like, oh, these are my strengths and my weaknesses, and this is my strength in social settings, and this is my weakness in social settings. And I think if you can't like navigate it on your own, and you know, and you need and you lack the tools, you know, I don't know.
How did you do it? I know you said that originally
Oh.
you were a shy person, then you managed to break out of it.
I think mine was just like sink or swim. Like, my parents would always just put me in very, very uncomfortable situations. Like, I would visit like family in Afghanistan. I can hardly speak Farsi. I'm such a white boy when it comes to Farsi, and they just leave me alone for like hours with people who only speak Farsi. And I'm like sweating bullets. I'm like, well, like you said, it's the situation. If you're this far in,
Yeah.
let's see what we can do about it. And then you just, you know, there's a lot of situations where I would just have to be like, I would see myself going in my shell,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, no, I have to. It's going to be bad if I continue going inward, so I have to put in the effort. So I don't know. It took
So
time.
in that sense, all the people around you probably thought you were rude because.
Possibly, yeah, maybe.
And is that the feeling that you felt? So that's why you thought, I need to work on myself because you don't want to recreate that.
Yeah. I don't want to let put the burden of conversation on one person. I think a conversation's a beautiful dance between two people. You know, if it flows, there's a conversation flow. Like, you ask a question, I follow up, you build off on that, and then, you know, I think that's how a good conversation is. Anyway, enough of that. That was my hot take and thought of the week.
So that was an
I hope it
interesting
didn't
one.
upset your listeners, your shy listeners.
I'm sure my shy listeners might kind of break out their shell just to give their
Check
opinion
that
now.
WhatsApp. See if they're blowing up the WhatsApp right now. Get this guy off the air.
We're bringing him back. I think, thank you for your thought of the week and everyone's thought of the week. I think since we're in this kind of hot take kind of perspective right now, I'm actually going to move on to Sonia, who's got a list of questions. That's just kind
This
of
is your questions?
Oh, yeah, don't
There's
worry. I won't pick
pages.
all of them.
It's plural.
Multiple.
just to kind of like, we kind of do this segment where we just do these interesting questions to kind of get ourselves thinking. And then in the next half, we'll be talking about Ali's career trajectory. So go ahead.
Okay,
Sonia.
so welcome to the show again, Ali.
Thank you for having me.
And Lamise, it's so nice to see you after so long. I'm so
Thank you for
happy.
having me too.
You're welcome. Okay, so this is for everyone, obviously, and I'm going to go round. I'll start on this side, Mariam, and then we'll go
course.
through. So yeah, I'm just going to ask you these random questions. Like I said, they're not serious, they're not real. Just answer however you want. Let's start with this animals one. So would you rather have the ability to speak 10 foreign languages or have the ability to speak to animals, and why?
Ooh, that's a very loaded question. I feel like I would want to be able to speak to animals, even though I have a huge fear of most animals.
Wow.
I feel like there's a lot of diverse opinions that I'll get, and it'll be from animals from different countries. So for me, that's like a whole new species you get to learn about.
Yeah. So even though you're scared of animals,
Even though I'm scared of animals, I guess I'll have to break my fear to.
Maybe if you could talk to them,
maybe
you
Yeah,
might not
maybe
be
that would-
scared of them.
that would
you know.
break my fear. Maybe it's humanizing them, which I shouldn't
Maybe.
superimpose my humanistic nature on animals, but there we
You'd
go.
be able to speak to them, so that wouldn't matter anyway. Yeah.
What if you're in bed, you're going to sleep, you turn off the lights, And then you can hear all the insects whispering about how they want to like bite you and eat you.
days.
Like, there she is. Oh, we're gonna like.
Then I can communicate back with them and say,
spider-
"Can you
Like,
stop
guys,
it?
leave
Can
the
you just
room."
stop?"
Nah,
Like, you know.
They're spiders. They're gonna be like, wait till she goes to bed.
No, but
Ah,
they
but then I
understand
can,
each other.
I can like move them away because I know what their intentions are.
Okay.
So,
So there you go.
we'll pause. Lamisa, what would you pick?
I would pick the 10 languages
Yeah, okay. Why?
because I don't know. I feel like I want to learn more languages, talk to more people. I don't feel the same about animals, but anyway.
Forget them.
But I would want to talk to trees though.
Me too.
Have you thought about like trees, how long they've been, where they've been, and
Wow.
what they've seen over
What
the
they've
years?
seen,
What they've
that
seen.
would be huge.
If trees
yeah.
could talk, I feel like that would be, that'd be pretty cool.
Okay, so that's a new part of the question, I think,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
nature,
Nature,
plants,
yeah.
and so on. Right.
Yeah.
Good answer. Ali, which one would you rather?
I've thought about this before. I've been traveling recently as well, and learning other languages is so helpful sometimes. Even though you go to countries where they can speak English,
Yeah.
it's just, it'd be helpful. But also, if you want to have like a little army, you can have all
There you
the
go.
animals and the squirrels and
Gather
the
all
birds.
the animals behind you and walk cool.
Yeah. Storm the parliament and,
Yeah.
bring back the NHS,
Squirrels,
whatever,
Research in the UK. Yeah.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
you can have a little.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in my road, we've got a lot of foxes, like obviously stray ones that we've
Yeah.
stolen their homes and so on.
Yeah.
I'd be able to talk to them. Like, I'm on your side, guys.
I'm sorry for stealing your
I'm
house.
really sorry. Yeah. And also rats, hate rats, but you can talk to them now. You can be like, guys, get out. Don't come in this area or whatever.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I think I'd pick the foreign languages, though, the 10 foreign languages, only because I'm so disappointed in myself sometimes that I'm this old and I only really know English like fluently, and it's such a letdown because not everywhere, but most places you go in the world, they know other languages, like 2-3 minimum, right? And it's just sad. It's just like, Sonia, come
Also,
on.
when you talk to someone in their native language, you connect with them on a whole different level than you would.
There's different things that exist in different languages,
Yeah,
though. Different
it's so
words,
good.
different feelings, different thoughts.
Different
100%,
nuances.
yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah. I
Comedy's
think,
different too, which I
Comedy?
quite enjoy.
what?
There's people's
There's-
sense of humour like varies, obviously, depending on the culture and depending on the language they're speaking. So
Interesting.
it's cool to see.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's that question. Let's move on. Okay, so I'm going to ask the money one. It's not even on here, but I ask this every time. Remember when we had two like economics guys and they knew the right answer? But it's not the right answer. I'm looking for
Right.
just, So would you rather have £5 million given to you, free, charge, everything, that's it, or £10,000 every day? Was it every day or every month? I can't remember.
I think it was every day.
It's every day. Okay, so let's make that every month. £10,000 every
No, it was
month.
every day. It was every day.
I'm making it harder.
Oh, okay.
£10,000 every month or £5 million now, and that's it, nothing else ever again. Lamisa, I'm going to you first. Do not do the math.
Sorry,
She's doing the math.
it's just okay. So that's 120,000 a year. I'm guessing 10,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So what
every
would Every month you get 10k
for the rest of your life.
for the rest of your life.
How many years am I living?
We don't know.
I feel like you know what, 120,000 every year is a good stable amount of money. I would probably want that.
But you get 5 million now.
Yeah,
is
but you'll
the
get that
option.
anyway. You only need about 120 grand to live comfortably in the UK
That is
every year.
interesting. You couldn't
I
even
just
buy a
wanna
house,
comfortably-
Lamisa.
You could buy a house with 100. Like
Where?
No, you don't have to buy a flat. I'll get a mortgage. It's fine. But I'll
So
pay
you're
it.
living like you're living now, essentially.
I
No,
don't
sorry,
live off 120 grand.
Inshallah. But,
Inshallah, but yeah, I feel like that would be a nice amount of money to live comfortably, and that's all I need.
I think I should change it back to a day. 10k a day.
10k a
that's
day, you'll be
insane.
making more money. Like, I'll go with the 10k a day.
Okay, what would you pick
The 5 million
right now?
right now.
Because
You can do so much with it right now. You can buy property right now. You can, fund projects you want to do right now. Pay off your student loan debt right now.
Okay.
And still have enough left over.
so Lamisa, what's your thought on that? Because you didn't pick the 5 million.
I feel like 5 million now is a good choice, but I feel like if I had 120k coming in every single year without a worry, I'd be happy.
But why are you not happy with 5
Because
million?
in the long run, in 10 years,
Yeah.
I will have 10 million.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I would. 120,000 a year. In 10 years, it would be over 10. Sorry, it'll be over 1 million.
Yeah.
It'll be fine
But
in
you could
10
have
years.
5 million now.
No, but I'm having it. If I had 5 million now,
Yeah.
I would blow through it.
No.
I would.
This is what I wanted
I
to
would.
hear. Really?
I'd blow through it. I'd buy my dad a car. I'd buy myself a car. I'd buy my mum a house. I'd go through it.
And you know what?
Go through it.
You would still have like
Nah,
3, 4
I
million
can
left.
spend 5
You
million.
can
I'll
buy
find all the ways to spend 5 million
you
now.
can buy a house, buy cars, multiple cars, buy tigers and lions, and you would still have.
I don't think so. I think 5 million is quite a small amount.
You say, and
I'm
what's your,
sorry, if I wanted to buy a jet, for example, I would blow through the money.
okay, you can't even buy a jet with
Mariam.
5,000.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm going to ask
you blow
Mariam
through
now,
it.
guys.
I've already asked this, but answered
I
this.
know you have, yeah, but
Thank you.
you can maybe
I think the same as well. I think I would just want it incrementally,
incrementally.
as in I would want the
Is that
10k.
the same reason that you think you can actually spend 5 million
I
bang
can.
like that?
If I had 5 million, like I did, like I could potentially.
blow it.
No, I wouldn't blow it. I would be able to compound it, but that's just too much stress with that much money at the same time. Then there's tax.
Yeah,
I work in
tax.
finance.
No, this is tax free. This is hypothetical. It's not real.
Well, anyways, but the point is that I would rather have a small amount of money to think about as opposed to a huge sum, because obviously I will go by the way I'm living now, and so it's not. I don't require that much. Like it would be luxuries, a lot of luxuries, right? So for me, it would be like, how do I compound and just live comfortably? I think the money I would spend most of it is on traveling because I love traveling.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't require that. Like it doesn't appeal to me to have that much amount of money, because for Ali, I can see why he would say that, because he does projects, he produces things, etc., etc. So that's according to his lifestyle. Whereas for me, I don't need to. I wouldn't have like a desire to have this. It would just literally be materialistic.
You guys are so amazing. But I would just take the 5 million without even thinking twice. Yeah, she would spend it too quickly. She needs that regular. I'm waiting for my next paycheck. Yeah. Okay. That's a beautiful response, though. But yeah, no, I would just take the 5 million. Like, guys, forget this. Money is money. That sounds very greedy on air. I'm not. But 5 million is 5 million.
5 million is 5 million.
5 million is 5 million. Okay, good question, guys. Let's do... Would you rather be an only child or have 10 siblings?
An only child. 100%. 100%.
Are you an only child right now?
No. I have 2 sisters, and
Those poor sisters that you've just said I'd rather be an only child.
well, right now we're at a good number where it's just the 3 of us, and there's only 2 personalities I need to deal with and work with and navigate with. Now, if anything gets more than that, like the drama will be endless, the headaches will be endless.
Yeah, but you'd have backup because it'd be 10 siblings. I'm sure half of them would be on your
You'll
side.
have the backup, but also you'll have like the additional baggage and just trauma and drama and just so much. Well, like you just will never be able to just live. You always have like something to respond to or get to or deal with.
That's
someone's
interesting.
so many personalities to deal with.
So you'd rather be an only child if you had to choose between 10 siblings
Yes,
and an only child?
yes.
Lemisa?
My mom has 10 siblings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mashallah.
So there is a lot of drama, I would say, but it is a lot of fun at the same time.
Yeah.
That's
Weddings,
it.
so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you pick?
But I don't know. I think I'd go with 10 siblings. I have 2, and I feel like I wouldn't not want them there. I wouldn't want to be an only child. Yeah.
Love that. So nice.
I think I would go with 10.
Mariam?
I'm like on the fence, and it's like a really binary question, because on one hand, I'm like Ali, I just don't want the drama. At the same time, my dad has 10 siblings as well, so it's just like...
So that's mine, by the way. Is this some weird
My dad has 8, I believe. About 8. Yeah.
My dad has 9, but
9,
it's 10.
and with him it's 10.
Oh,
yeah.
my mom has 10.
Wow, so
Yeah.
it's 11.
11.
Mashallah.
And I do see it, like the advantages of it when it comes to weddings, when it comes to gatherings and things like that. There's just a lot of joy and laughter, but then that doesn't account for all the other drama that comes along with it. So I do see that. But then I get really lonely. I only have one other sibling.
Yeah.
And since she got married, I just feel really lonely.
Aww.
So it's just like, I don't want to be, I'm kind of living an only child kind of life at the moment. I don't really like it. So I would have to go through the stress and just take the 10 siblings, because I don't want to be lonely.
Yeah. I say in my head, I feel like an only child, princess treatment, loving life, like I can imagine it, but at the same time I'm like, nah, I cannot imagine life without siblings. You know, if they're good siblings, that's everything, isn't it? So they're there for you. But yeah, I'm still
Because out of the 10, there's bound to be like...
a good one.
No, like a bad one.
Oh, a bad one, yeah.
Bound to at least minimum, like just by probability, one black sheep that will just drain the family.
Yeah.
You know,
But if you're an only child, then you might be the black sheep.
but I have no one else to disappoint but just two people, my mom and dad, you know?
Yeah.
And they could be my buddies. My parents can be my friends, you know?
Yeah, no,
and it's just the
cute.
three of us.
My best friend is an only child, and, you know,
But what in the situation where your
it.
parents don't understand you and you have no one else to springboard, and then in that situation, what do you do?
Yeah, friends, right?
But the friends are not going to go...
Yeah,
to what extent...
I would go to friends, you know?
No, but to what extent can you go to your friends in the sense that, say if there's something that's between your family only and it's something that you can't share with friends, and they're not understanding you, you don't have a sibling to go to in that situation. How do you kind of reconcile that?
Journal. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
At that point, I wouldn't know.
It's a good advice, that was.
Because some people do have siblings, but they still don't have. They
that
wouldn't go to their siblings
relationship.
for
Yeah.
you know, support. So.
Well, I think we are on the last minute, right, Mariam?
Yeah, so just wrapping it up.
Can I ask one question then, and you guys just answer really, really fast, like no reasonings, yeah?
Sure.
Would you rather be happy, wealthy, or healthy? Happy, wealthy, or healthy?
Healthy.
Happy, wealthy, or healthy?
Happy.
Happy, wealthy, or healthy?
Wealthy.
Healthy.
Oh, that's
Because
really
health is wealth.
But wealth can buy health.
Not always.
Not always. And especially from the medicine take, I don't think so.
So yeah, that was it. I'll wrap up my questions now. Thank you guys so much for participating.
Thank you. Great
you.
questions.
Thank you. I've had plenty, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for that first half. In the next half, we'll be talking about Ali's producing trajectory, and we look forward to hear your thoughts and opinions. Thank you again. See you in the next half. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Atif Nawaz. Listen to Inspire FM shows in your time by heading over to inspirefm.org or listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to Sisters Speak. You're here with me, Mariam, and Namisa and Sonia. We also joined in the studio is Ali, who is a television producer from America. And in the last half we were talking about our thoughts of the week, and we just played a anecdotal game of Would You Rather. In this half we'll be talking about Ali's career, and we would love to hear your thoughts. If you want to join in the discussion, Namisa, where can they call us on?
Yep, you can call us on 01582 481822, and you can text or WhatsApp in on 07779 481822.
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
We have WhatsApp open right now, and we're waiting for the messages, so send them in.
Thank you for that, Ali.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to dive right into it, Ali, because you have a very interesting career, and I feel like everyone will be really interested to hear.
you.
But before
My
that,
parents don't think that.
well, I think the rest of the whole UK can agree to
I
that.
hope so.
My question is, what intrinsically drives you?
Oh, man. Well, this is going to be a cop-out answer, and it's not going to be as deep as I guess you expect, but I guess what intrinsically drives me is money. I have a reason for that. You know, a lot of our, like my parents are first-generation Afghan Americans. They settled in the States in the 1980s, 1987. My dad was an engineer by trade in Afghanistan, and my mom was a dentist. So when they came to America, it was hard to kind of find work in that field. So, you know, they start working at like McDonald's and like retail department stores, and they struggled like for like 10 years. It was like struggle until they finally were able to like plant their feet a bit, you know. And I think that's why a lot of our parents want us to like get careers in STEM, you know. So we don't, because it's like a guaranteed job basically. Anywhere in the world you go, if you have some kind of like degree or background in STEM, you'll be fine, you'll be set. So, you know, when I decided to pursue film, because I wanted to pursue film because I just storytelling is a big part of my culture, Afghan culture. Oral storytelling is great, and I love like being. I pride myself, you know, being a good storyteller. Some people think I'm an awful storyteller, which is true, but so I was like, oh, if I can do this for like a living, that'd be great. And, you know, my parents were obviously against it, you know, like, because, again, no one we knew was into film or entertainment or in the media industry. So they had no one to model my like journey on. Because, like, for example, you're pursuing medicine, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure your parents can point to like 8 to 10 people, if not more, that have pursued medicine to be like, this is what they did, this is how they got to where they did, and this is how much money they're making at the end of like their 4, 5, 6 8 years of medical school or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's like a path. But like for entertainment, we didn't have that. No one in my family knew anyone, and the only people they knew were a couple guys that were like filming weddings and like, you know, events. And I was like, well, I want to do something a little bit more than that. And so they were hesitant. And the whole time when I was like trying to get into film school, it was just like, and then I graduate film school, it's like, you like, to them, it's like you're not successful until you're making X amount of money. So that's why even when it comes down to like, would you rather have like the health? Oh, yeah, the 5 million, the health, the wealth, you know? And it's like
the wealth.
It's been ingrained from like just a family acceptance or praise is sadly, unfortunately, financial. So that's the shallow intrinsic thing that drives me is sadly money, even though I hate it, you know, and I don't identify as a capitalist in any way. So but I'm in the.
Is it because do you feel like you have to seek the approval of your family?
Oh, of course, yeah, 100%. And also, like, just pursuing anything for money is just never fun.
Of course, yeah.
It's like, I got into film because I loved it. It was so fun to do, and we would get all the kids together in my neighborhood, my community, my masjid. We would like get them all together. We'd do these short films. It would be really fun. And then once money gets involved, once someone pays you, then it's like, okay, well, there's expectations now. There's deadlines, there's this, there's that. And I mean, that's life, but then it just sucks the fun out, that passion.
We've spoken about that before on radio too. Like, we spoke about hobbies and how we love them, and then as soon as you start monetizing them and doing it for that purpose, the fun's gone, right? But I think with the whole family and wealth thing, obviously it comes from somewhere. Like, we can relate because we often say that obviously our family have a background of being immigrants to the UK, and so they've come from a survival background. Like, it's about surviving. So when they see us trying to just do these things that look like fun and not really stable income jobs, they're like, okay, but are you going to be okay? Like, are you going to survive? How are you going to provide for yourself, for your family, and so on? And so I can see where it comes from.
Right.
And it's totally relatable because you're like, I know I have to do this thing and make you guys happy and make everyone think we're stable and we're fine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, I want to also follow my dream and passion and enjoy this fun thing.
Right.
So I totally understand that. And I think we all three of us can relate to something like that, can't we?
I think, Sonia, one of the things that Ali kind of mentioned about is when you do these passion projects and then you have to monetize it. I think from your experience as well, from producing a film, do you want to just talk about that?
Yes. I mean, so I am nowhere near unsuccessful as you in the film industry. I'm trying, though.
No, man.
So obviously, at first, like, me and my team, we just like YouTube films. It's cute. It's fun. And recently, which, alhamdulillah, was such an amazing opportunity for me. Like, I did an application for this commission to produce this short film, which has now become a documentary.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing that, but because obviously it's come from an organisation. Like, before, we used our own money.
Right.
Like, we were just doing this ourselves, or, you know, raising funds ourselves. Now this has come from an organisation. Obviously, there's guidelines. There's things I have to follow. There's deadlines and so on. And already I'm like, oh my God.
There's like a level of censorship or the...
Oh, there is. They've already, like, the ideas are changing, right? And you know you can't say no almost.
Yeah.
Like, you can try and shift it to work for you, but it's becoming someone else's idea, someone else's project almost. It's still your name, but there's going to be guidelines that you have to follow. That's the thing with money, isn't it? So it's already, this is my first taste of it, and I'm like, oh, nah, this isn't what I signed up for. This isn't what I wanted. But it's good and it's bad at the same time. But I see that happening, and it's just something I have to learn how to navigate. And obviously wait till we're in a big enough position where you have your own production company and studio and so on, and you can say, no, this is my vision, and it's going like this, and no one else gets to change that.
That's a very good segue for the next question for Ali, because that's exactly what he's done, right? He's got his own company. But before we even talk about his own company, can you just tell us about how you got into film school, and then how you got to becoming a television producer? Right.
Oh, it's a long story, but I'll make it as quick as possible. I'll give you all the highlights and shortcuts without the pitfalls. I applied to film school in Chicago, Tribeca Flashpoint, and I applied. I sent them my portfolio, like some videos I've done. I interviewed, I got in, and then from there I did a lot in film school, and then at the end of it I applied to a Nickelodeon. Well, it was like a job fair where they came to our school, like the recruiters, and on the spot, like in front of the whole class, I happened to just impress the recruiter on the spot, and she gave me the internship right then and there. So then I flew to California, and I was in California for a bit, interning at Nickelodeon Animation. And then right after that, fast forward, I met a YouTuber. Someone introduced me to this YouTuber, FouseyTube, and we started doing these like viral prank videos, and that were getting tens of millions, of hundreds of millions of views. I think our channel at the time surpassed 1 billion channel views, you know? So, incredible. And then from there, I had a friend that was interning at Nickelodeon, and this is where networking comes in. She, you know, I stayed in touch with her, and she went to Nickelodeon, and she went to this other channel in the States from Nickelodeon, and she was like, hey, we're hiring if you want to come in as a producer to produce this television show on the network. So I was like, yeah, I would love that. And the biggest thing was like healthcare. We don't have an NHS out there, you know. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And then from there, I was working on this network for like about 1.5 years, and then I was doing that, and I was like doing freelance work at the same time. And then the workload became a lot for my freelance, like directing things. So I started my own production company, got it registered, and I just started getting grants and start getting clients. And I just did that full time for many years, like literally right up until COVID. Like the day COVID hit, like I had shoots lined up, wow. You know, and once that kind of fell apart, I went back to the network to get back into television. And then from there, that's how I am. And then I started working for temporarily during that time. Like recently, I was with, we have a network in America called HBO. Well, now it's called Max, but it's called HBO. And someone reached out, the creator of the show reached out, and they're looking for like diverse voices and writers. So I was like, I'm not a writer, but I've written a few things, and I sent it to them, and they reached out and they're like, hey, we read it. It's bad. Your work is really, they literally said, your work is really bad, but it's not your fault. You haven't been given like the format and the chance to learn certain structures for television. You can come in as a writer's assistant, and we can help you. And I was like very grateful for that. So I did that for a bit. And then due to Hollywood politics and business, the show didn't end up going anywhere. And then back to producing television. And, you know, and then I had a friend's wedding in Italy like 2 weeks ago. So I was like, if I'm going to fly all the way out to Europe, yeah, might as well stay in London or like stay in Europe, you know? So
do the whole Europe.
Yeah, so I did like a 2-country tour. I did Germany and Italy. And then I was like, everyone speaks English in London. I'd rather just go
somewhere you can communicate.
Yeah, and just like go. I don't have to pull out Google Translate every, you know. So I was like, I'll make London home base for the next like 2 months.
Oh, wow. So you're staying here for a bit?
Yeah, well, month 1 wrapped up, and then I'm on to the last couple of weeks.
In 20 days?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somehow just very thankful, by the way, for you coming.
No, man. I'm
but yeah,
happy
I think
to
what's
be here.
really interesting about your whole career trajectory is that one of the things that really stood out to me is that you pitched yourself in front of so many people for Nickelodeon.
Oh, right, yeah.
And the reason why I wanted to kind of focus on that and highlight it is because as people who come from minorities or come from a certain demographic, and especially if your parents are immigrant, more often than not, you have to work twice as hard.
Yeah, 100%.
And so therefore, my kind of question is to you, how did you proactively upskill yourself to ensure that you were outstanding?
Oh, man. Well, if you really want to get into it. Okay, so just the backdrop on film school.
Yeah.
You know, my dad gave me like this ultimate, because, you know, like at the time I was like, oh, I want to do law, and then I want to do this, I want to do that. And I was bouncing around like options, and I was like, all right, you know, I'm going to do film, and they're against it. I was like, give me 1 year. If I still feel passionate about film, I'll do film. A year goes by. I'm like, I'm still passionate about film. So when I get to film school and we tour the school, my dad's like, yeah, if you change your mind, like we're not going to be behind you for anything. You know,
wow.
Like this, it's
pressure.
There is no plan B. Like this is it. Once you make this decision now,
stick with it.
Stick with it for life. And I was like, well, I was like, all right. And then I took it very serious, every single day I would stay and I would stay after school, learn all the editing softwares, learn everything. I'd be there so late every night that security would it turned out to the point where like security didn't even have to kick me out at a certain point. They would just walk past the door and just look at me.
Yeah,
and I
they
would
knew
be,
you.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, yeah. And I'd just be like, give me 5 more minutes or 10, and then and that just became my routine. And if I would have done all the assignments for the 2 years of film school, like every quarter, every semester, if I would have done like a big like film assignment, by the end of the year I should have had 8 videos to put on my portfolio. I graduated with over 30, because I was like, man, I'm not playing around. Like literally, it was like those reality shows where it's like, I'm not here to make friends, But also, you should make friends in film school. That's like, you go to film school to make friends, to build a network once you're out. But I was like, I just need to learn the craft. I need to learn the craft. And then sometimes you're around people and you realize who's serious and who's not. You're like, you would meet people and you're like, you just thought film school would be easy. That's why you were here, And like, you can really tell who's giving it at all. And then the ones that are like really giving it everything, that's the folks you kind of like gravitate towards and you attract. So when I found out that Nickelodeon, one of the recruiters will be there, I was like, okay, I need to learn everything about this recruiter. I pulled a Joe from you. Like, I stalked this person. I found their LinkedIn, their Facebook, their Twitter. I went through all their Twitter likes, their tweets. I found their Instagram account. I found their like university blog that they wrote, their university paper that they wrote on. I knew everything about this recruiter. But the problem was there's 2 recruiters there, and I didn't know which one I would be speaking to, So luckily, we were all like, the class was, we had the whole student body, like 200 some people in the auditorium. And the career lady, I don't know what she was. She was like a career coordinator. She was like, hey guys, just heads up, the recruiters are actually touring the campus and they're going to be here. Does anyone want to pitch their elevator pitch to them? And this is where the shyness comes in. And I was like, oh, hell no. But then I see no one's raising their hands. And I'm like, you know what? Forget it. Like, this could be a great opportunity. Let me. And so I was like, yeah, I'll do my pitch. Out of like, no one raised their hand. And then I asked her to come over. I was like, if Nickelodeon's here, can you like pair me up with them? Because like, I've been like researching them. She was like, okay, I got you. If Nickelodeon's here, because they're supposed to be here. I don't know if the recruiter showed up or not. In comes in like all the recruiters for like Disney, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, all the channels, all the studios. And they're like, we're going to have one of our students pitch themselves to you. And they try to make it seem like it was spontaneous, like it was just a spur of the moment thing. She was like, does anyone want to pitch themselves? Okay. And I was like, me. So she was like, yeah, come on up. And she was like, do we have Nickelodeon here? And the lady from Nickelodeon was like, yeah, I'm here. And she was like, and she said her name, and I was like, oh, yes.
It's the one you were stalking.
It was the one I was stalking. I know everything about you. So then, like, in my little elevator pitch, I was throwing out, like, little things that, like, you only knew if you knew, you know? And every time I would drop a little, like a little Easter egg, she'd be like her eyes would just, like, she'd be like, how'd you know that? How did you know? Because she thinks it's all spontaneous. Like, she thinks, like, I was just plucked from the crowd. But she didn't know this was a setup job, you know? And because of that, right there, she was like, at the end of my little pitch, I was like, I want to know what I have to do to become a Nick-turn, because they only call their interns Nick-turns, and you only knew that if you were like inside, you know.
She was like, "This guy's ideal for the role."
And she was like, "Do you want your answer right now?" I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "I'll see you in September."
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
I was like,
well
"Yes."
done.
And then I told my parents, and they're like, how much they pay you?
Yeah.
It's a non-paid internship, you know.
Oh,
So,
but that is what a good story.
Very
Hard work.
yeah.
But we are conscious of time.
She had a question.
So, did you?
I just wanted to ask quickly, do you think that the pressure from your parents was kind of necessary to push you to work that hard when you were in school?
100%. Because it was like, I can't let them down. It's not even let myself down. It's like, I can't let them down. Like, I want to prove to them, like, I'm like, this is not a joke. I'm not like, this isn't like a little like hobby where I'm running around with a camera. Like, this is serious, you know? And yeah, if they weren't like on me, I don't think I would have taken that leap, you know?
So in terms of your strategy that you used when you were in university, is that something that you kind of expanded now in your current career? Obviously that would kind of maneuver differently, but I just want to hear like how you used that experience to kind of elevate where you are today.
Man, you know, life beats you down, and that like eagerness and optimism and that energy and that go get 'em, like anything is possible mentality gets beaten out of you. So I graduated in 2012, and now it's like 11 years later. I'm just like a shell of a man. I'm just like.
Well, I appreciate you sharing. Like, I think that's
that's the sad part of it, you know, because like you face so much rejection, so much downfall. Because when you're in school, oh my god, like I remember like the last 2 months of film school being like, bro, once I graduate, the world is my like. I can do anything I want. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be at this studio, and I'm going to be knocking down these doors, and you know, and everyone's going to know me in Hollywood. And then you get there, and you're looking around, and you're like, man, everyone's amazing. Like I am nothing compared to these people. But then you still try to like, you know, get yourself through it. So, I don't know. Some of the things I guess that did stick around from my uni days to now is, you know, I remember there was this one saying that like one of my professors kept saying, and it's still stuck to me now. It's like, just get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And like,
it's a Mariam thing to say.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's one of her like.
She always says she puts herself into uncomfortable situations a lot. So.
And you have to just be all right with being uncomfortable. Take a note, shy people. You know? I'm kidding.
Come back to
reining it back in.
No, I'm playing. But yeah, I think that's the one thing where I'm like, you know what, I'm. In film school, I would always be uncomfortable in certain scenarios, and then I learned that like it's the process. You have
the process. Definitely. I think that's something that we definitely talk about. Is about being present in the journey, because when we're so fixated on the end result, it does bog you down. But we only have 5 more minutes left, and there's just so.
Okay.
I know. So there's only 5 minutes left, and I really want to speak about a couple of things.
I'll go fast.
So yeah, I just wanted to ask you about like how do you contend with upholding your values, especially in terms of, you know, when you come from a certain demographic and you come from if you have subscribed to a certain ideology as a Muslim. I see a lot of parents would have that contention where my child is going to go to this industry that may, you know, create a space where they have to compromise their values. How did you contend with that, and how did you navigate it? Right.
I've been fortunate, you know. I know I have met other folks that are within the entertainment industry, but are in like different like sectors of it that they've been uncomfortable. I again have been very fortunate. So I'm trying to say like it doesn't not happen, but my experience has been one where I guess God maybe has protected me, where I haven't been given these scenarios where I do feel uncomfortable. But honestly, and it also comes down to like, I mean, values is such a, like, for example, like I don't drink. I've never drank, you know, and I can be in a room where there's a waterfall of alcohol. I would never be in that room, but if I was, nothing could tempt me to drink. Nothing could want me to like take a sip, you know? So, it just comes down to like, where do you draw the line? Because there's some people that are like, you know, I don't know. No one here knows me. My parents aren't here. Like, you know, like maybe one little, you know, they have that curiosity in them. So, you know, that's different. But I guess once you have certain boundaries and lines that you just know you're not going to cross. And, but no, I've been very fortunate where the work I've done, some of the like clients I've worked with, I've been in a position where I can say no, like, that's not what I want to do. Or one thing I love doing, and I'll wrap this up quick so we can move on to the next question. One thing I love doing is giving them a better idea, but making it like as if it's their idea. And I feel like a lot of women do that to men, you know, like from what, like a lot of my friends will do that, where they're like, a guy would have a bad idea, but they know that this guy will not listen to anyone else's idea but his. So they always have to like kind of like make him get to their idea. You get what I'm saying? Am I tripping here?
No, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Make them feel like they've come to this conclusion.
Yes, on their own.
But really, it's all your idea, and it works for you.
Yeah.
But you like let them have it.
Yeah,
let
exactly.
them believe that they've got
Exactly.
this and run with it.
Exactly, yeah.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to
So
do.
sometimes you get, and you have to use those techniques on clients and business people where, you know, there would be like, for example, again, this has never been the situation. They'd be like, oh, well, we would want a model in a bikini, this and that. And you're like, well, I don't feel comfortable doing that, this and that. But wouldn't it be cool if we did something in the snow and everyone's bundled up? You know, like, but then you want them to like come to it, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's.
So that's how you kind of navigate it. You kind of offer the alternative.
Yeah. And sometimes like and again, it varies from person to person, because I have a lot of Muslim friends that are like, I wouldn't even sit at a dinner table if someone's drinking alcohol, and I respect that their views, you know, like and sometimes I'll have a meeting with like a manager or a studio or a producer, and we're just having like a normal meal, and you know, I have a salad and they'll have like a steak and they'll order a beer. It personally doesn't, like, I wouldn't be like, well, I'm out of here, you know? I'm just like, well, I'm not going to drink, you know? So again, it'll vary from person to person, you know? Some people don't even feel comfortable in the presence, which I understand. Yeah.
So it's just about really knowing yourself and where you draw the line in terms of your boundaries and how you kind of navigate that. I think one of the final questions, since we only have 2 minutes left, which is reflecting on your experiences, what's one thing that you'd change about the decisions that you made, and what's one thing that you're happy that you did that helped you become the person you are today?
Do the bad one first and the good one last.
Okay. The bad one was I would change everything about myself going back, in the sense of like, I'm very stubborn. I never ask for help. I never want to like seem like I'm in a desperate situation and I need help to get to the next level of my career. And I think and I was very proud, and you know, I still am. It's a fault of mine.
1 minute left.
Okay. So yeah, I would do that. I would make sure I swallow my ego, swallow my pride, and just ask for help and assistance. And something, what was the last question?
So the other question was, what's one thing that you've done that you continue to repeat and has helped you become the person you are today?
Right. Know exactly where I want to go. Because sometimes you'll get in the industry and you're like, which way do I go? What's my... It's like, I know what I want to do, and sometimes I need help to get there, and I don't ask. So I like where I know my direction is. Like, I have a final destination, and that's what I'll leave on.
I think that's a really great way to kind of wrap up the show in terms of, I think the fundamentals of the show is that you have to kind of know yourself and what kind of career if you want to have a certain career trajectory, you have to know where your boundaries are and what you want to pursue, and just keep trying, really.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ali, for joining us on this show.
Thank
it was
you for
a really
having me.
brilliant discussion. We haven't even covered half the things we wanted to. But
all.
hopefully we'll have you again.
Inshallah.
Thank you, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Why not tune in to our live stream at inspirefm.org and follow and subscribe to our social media platforms at Inspire FM Luton.